What's up, Totem Pole Nation? This is Lambo and Matt's World of Sports with Sideline Sports Network. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe as always. Today's episode, we are getting into Duke basketball. They're a hot topic right now because they just got Cooper Flagg. They have the number one recruiting class in the country. We get it. All right. So we'll get into that. We'll give you our opinions, some analysis right after this.
Gentlemen, Duke basketball. I know you hate them. Coach K retired 2 seasons ago. Their head coach now is Jon Scheyer, who thinks is the second full season after taking over for Coach K. But this 5-star guy, before we get into Cooper Flagg, because we know who Cooper Flagg was, Patrick Ngongba II, committed to Duke over the weekend. It's the second 5-star pickup for Duke with the number one recruiting class. He chose them over Kansas State, which has really improved in basketball. Of course, chose them over my Kentucky Wildcats. He took visits to Michigan and UConn in the fall. UConn's not bad. I mean, UConn did just win the national championship, so that's not bad at all. Michigan with Juwan Howard there, it's just up and down here and there. He's a 6'11" center. It's at a high school in Virginia called Paul VI High School, Virginia, whatever it is, or Paul the Fourth, whatever the school is, somewhere in Virginia. He's one of the best post players in 2024. He was ranked 19th overall in the ESPN 100 and ranked number 3 in center in the class. Duke wants size. I mean, you're talking about a guy like Zion Williamson, who was a little bit bigger, a little bit more weight. They wanted some size, and I don't know. I mean, Duke's just stacking up the team. They're stacking up the talent. They're getting better recruiting-wise, even after the Coach K retirement. Now, I thought it was going to go down just a little bit, but it's getting better right now. Like I said, Jon Scheyer is his second full year, so it's going to take some time. Also, Cooper Flagg as well. We knew about Cooper Flagg weeks ago, but as of today or later today, earlier today, he has signed his national letter of intent at his school that will push him to be actually committed to Duke. Since the early signing period begins tomorrow and continues for this week on to next week. Cooper Flagg is one of the guys that I've watched as well. He's going to become the 4th Montverde talent since 2018 to sign with the Blue Devils. Also, you had R.J. Barrett come from that school, Derek Whitehead from last year, R.J. Barrett in 2018, and then you had Sean Stewart in 2023. What are your thoughts on these two pickups? I know we both don't like Duke, but what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing new when it comes to Duke recruiting. All right, no, let me wait on being a hater a little bit. I will say this is a very impressive class. No, I'll be a hater in a second, all right? I will give Duke the flowers that they deserve when it comes to this recruiting class. Obviously, Cooper Flagg is ones on every single recruiting network when it comes ESPN 24/7 on 3, all of it. Cooper Flagg is the number 1 player in the country. So according to 247, though, they also have the number 11 guy in Isaiah Evans in the country, number 16 in Con Nupel. I don't know how to say it. He's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They've got the 20th ranked guy or 19th on the ESPN 100 in Patrick from Paul VI Catholic in Fairfax. And then his teammate as well, Darren Harris, is the 56th ranked player. So, I mean, it's nothing new. Duke brings in a starting lineup of freshmen every year. But I will say, to pump the brakes a little bit, just because this isn't new, all right? Last year they had the second ranked class, 2022 the first, 2021 the sixth, 2020 the third, 2019 the third, 2018 first. That was Zion, Cam Reddish, RJ. 2017 the first, 2016 the first. So this is nothing new when it comes to Duke. They get the best recruits year in, year out. There were some years when it was battling with Kentucky, but let's be honest, Duke has dominated recruiting in the past 10 years, probably more. I will, though, bring up, and why I'm saying pump the brakes, I just read off an astounding list of recruits. I will also list their past tournament performances. Last year, NCAA round of 32. Year before, lost to UNC in the Final Four. Tournament before that, Elite Eight, round of 32, Sweet 16, and then 9 years ago, national champions. All I'm saying, it has been a trend for Duke to get the top guys year in, year out. That's no surprise that they're continuing to do it. Has it translated all the way, even with Mike?
It hasn't. It's not
even
translated.
with Mike? Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to win too. I don't want to, make it seem like I'm hating too much. It is hard for any team to win. Obviously, Virginia Tech hasn't won one, so like I'm not getting on like a high horse and just yelling this or whatever. I'm just saying
Kentucky hasn't won one in like 12 years as well, or 11. So it is tough to win.
It is the best teams don't always win. The best recruiting classes don't always win. That's the magic of March Madness. That's why it's so electric. So it's not all on Duke, but I will say there have been plenty of teams built on the number one recruiting class or top 5 recruiting classes that come up short. So just pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah. I do agree with that. I don't know how Duke will do this year. Obviously, Duke won yesterday. I guess they play, the little week schedule that everybody plays.
They're returning. I mean, returning Filipowski is huge. He's a big time bucket getter. Roach is a great point guard. You have Proctor as well. So like they've got a mix of experience and youth, I should say, on this team. So, I mean, they're going to be competitive again. Filipowski's has a good chance, if it's not going to be Baycott, to win ACC Player of the Year just because he's a bucket getter. So they're going to be good for sure. As painful as that is.
I trust Baycott to win it. I put my money on Baycott to win it all. But I think when it comes to Duke, we know how talented they are. My question when it comes to Duke is the ACC play. It's the competition that they go against in the ACC. Now, the ACC kind of somewhat, I don't want to shame the ACC for basketball, but it's sort of died down. I think just after the COVID period, like it's not really the same. You're seeing other teams from other conferences excel. Like now you're seeing the SEC getting better at basketball. Now you're seeing the Big 12 getting better at basketball. Like, now you're seeing UConn is back when UConn was like a downfall for the past 8 years, and now they're back as well. My concern for Duke is just when it comes down to who's a threat to the ACC besides Virginia Tech if things go right. I mean,
UNC,
am I missing somebody? UVA hasn't been the same team since UNC, but UVA hasn't been the same team since they won the championship with Kyle Guy and all that. So. Agreed. Who's really a threat to besides Virginia Tech?
Well, I mean, I think the ACC is it. Other conferences are catching up. Don't get me wrong, but I will say that when you see the records of some ACC teams not looking as good, it also is that's a result from playing a tough ACC schedule. Like. That's not said in other sports, but in basketball, I still think you can say that with the ACC, especially with Notre Dame also being in there. Regardless if they, show up high in the rankings, they're always a tough play when it's conference matchups. Duke, UNC, those are always close. I've been to, probably 10 games here at Castle between highly ranked, ACC opponents. Every time someone's here in Castle, it is a close game. Most of the time we win. It is a great home court advantage here in Blacksburg. So I will say some of that is just good teams beating up on each other. And so for this year, I think the same thing could be the case. Virginia Tech went on a slide last year. We started like 11-1, and then ACC play, we went on a losing stretch and had to claw our way back, and we obviously missed the tournament. So and that team got a lot better this year. I think the same can be said for multiple teams in the ACC. So I don't think it's just a cakewalk, but they, without a doubt, are the most talented team in the ACC, if not the country.
All right. Well, it's it for Lambo Matt's World Sports. Read the like, comment, subscribe to Total Pole Nation. We need the merch. Go to TotalPoleNation.com. Next, Bronny James. All right. He committed to USC a couple months back from Sierra Canyon. I watched the documentary of Sierra Canyon, which is on Amazon Prime. Very good stuff to watch. Very great guys like Amari Bailey, who played at UCLA as well. So it's a very good story. But Bronny James did not play last night. And according to LeBron, the checkup for his cardiac arrest, his heart, God rest his soul, prayers up there, obviously. He will be out for at least the first month of the season because he collapsed in practice. But we will tell you what are the expectations for USC basketball. Now, I understand there's guys on there besides Bronny James, but Bronny James, the son of LeBron James, he got a name now. So how will USC handle the expectations a month after he's gone and going forward into the future? That's next on Lambo and Matt's World of Sports. Stay tuned in for the next 5 minutes. Y'all have a great night.